What's up, everybody? GeauxBurns reviewing the latest update for Grand Theft Auto Online, Cunning Stunts, now available for the Xbox One, PlayStation 4, and PC. Now, as most of my subscribers know regarding my DLC review series, we go over the pros, we go over the cons, and then I give you my verdict. And you are always welcome to chime in below in the comment section with your pros, your cons, as well as your verdict regarding the Cunning Stunts update. So first off, we're going to go over the pros. And I gotta say this right now, as most of you know, I'm a racing enthusiast, even though I suck at racing, hence my show, Racing Badly, which airs on Saturdays. And yes, in case you were wondering, starting this Saturday, I'm going to be doing nothing but stunt races, Rockstar created and eventually user created races in Racing Badly. And I'm really looking forward to that starting this Saturday in Racing Badly in Grand Theft Auto Online. So be sure and join me on Saturday for that fun. Now the pros. First off, 13 brand new vehicles. They include 3 supercars, the Annis RE7B, the Emperor ETR1, my favorite of the 3, and of course the Pro-Gen Tyrus, 3 of the best new supercars in the game now. Those are the 3 best, surprisingly. Then of course sports, you got the new Lampadeti as well as the Obey Omnibus, and of course you got a new compact and 2 off-road trucks, the Vapid Desert Raid, the Vapid Trophy Truck, 2 motorcycles, the Nagasaki BF400, as well as the Western Gargoyle, and 3 muscle cars, making the transition from Grand Theft Auto 5 to Grand Theft Auto Online, the Declassy Burger Shot Stallion, Vapid Pisswasser Dominator, and Bravado Redwood Gauntlet. All of these 13 cars now available in Grand Theft Auto Online. And of course, we got 16 new stunt races, with more coming when the stunt creator comes out in August. We got Canyon Crossing, City Air, Downtown Loop, Duel, East Coast, Maze Bank Ascent, Nightlife, Over and Under, Plummet, Racing Alley, Rally, Splits, Threading the Needle, Trench 1, Turbine, Vinewood, and Vinewood Downhill is the same race. All these will eventually be covered in Racing Badly on Saturday, so be sure and tune in for that fun. And of course, not only do we have these 16 new stunt races and user-created stunt races coming in August, we also got the premium races, which put the best of the best racers head-to-head against each other. In other words, I don't think I will be applying. I'm not going to be dropping $20,000 just to watch $20,000 magically disappear out of my mate's bank account. But it's a lot of fun because it's winners take all. First place gets all the winnings, and everybody gets triple RP for participating in the premier races, and they constantly change. Like today is Thursday, for example. Splits is happening today. Then, of course, on Friday, it'll be Vinewood Downhill. Then Saturday, it'll be Racing Alley. Sunday, Canyon Crossing. And Monday, Turbine. Then it'll just keep on going from there with the premium races. Now, we also got to talk about other pros, too. The clothing, over 180 items, including like racing outfits and jerseys and helmets and caps, as well as 50 brand new tattoos. Plus, there were tons of patches and fixes courtesy of the Cunning Stunts update. A few of them, for example, there is a personal interaction menu reorganization. It takes a little getting used to, but once you do, in my opinion, I think it's way better. Plus, now you got an animation option for helmets. You can actually lift and lower the visor, you know, in the interaction menu, which is actually kind of cool. So you can have it lowered or you can have it up. So whichever floats your boat. Then, of course, there were fixes to both the Rockstar editor as well as the Rockstar creator and more. I mean, the fixes and patches were like a mile long. I kid you not. So those are some really great pros. Now let's move on to the cons, shall we? Because with every update review I do, there's always cons to pros. First off, I want to discuss something that I rarely consider to be a con, which would be a new addition to Grand Theft Auto Online. On occasions I have, like for example, the destroy last place option they've put in races a few months ago. I consider that to be a major con because, as most of you already know, I'm not the best racer out there. I don't mind losing. I don't mind getting a DNF or last place, but I find it insult to injury whenever you get destroyed within 15 to 30 seconds of the race and you don't even get to finish. So that's one reason why I didn't like destroy last place. Now, this is another example of a new addition I don't really find important or necessary, and I don't know why Rockstar did it. The adversary mode, trigger, and free mode. Now, it seems pretty apparent that Rockstar wants us to fall in love with adversary modes. They've been trying this since the Heist update over a year ago with the first adversary modes, and they continue to add them. Now, some adversary modes are a lot of fun, like the most recent ones, Power Play, but most of the time it's more miss than hit when it comes to the adversary mode. So my beef is you're in free mode and all of a sudden this thing updates. Okay, there's a new adversary mode. Oh, by the way, there's a new adversary mode. Oh, hey, did you know there's a new adversary mode available? Yes, I know, and I don't care. Some people might be into adversary modes, but I'm not. And there's ways to get into adversary modes already, like the quick jobs on the phone, or you can just go up to the start menu, go to Rockstar Jobs, scroll down to adversary modes, and play the adversary modes you prefer. So I consider the adversary mode a con when it comes to the Cunning Stunts update. Now we move on to the cons revolved around the vehicles in Cunning Stunts. Now, yes, I mentioned the 13 new rides as pros, but at the same time, there's always cons to pros and vice versa. First off, with the addition of 13 new vehicles, that's going to cost you a lot of money. In other words, if you purchase some or most or all these vehicles, it's going to seriously eat your Maze bank account. But that's to be expected. Now, the supercars are very expensive. Now, the cheapest one is the Emperor ETR1, which is $1.9 million. The next one is the Ennis RE7B at $2.4 million. The most expensive of the three, the Progen Tyrus at $2.5 million. So if you bought all three, obviously that's a lot of money you just threw away on just three cars in the game. Now, the other con I want to discuss is customization or lack thereof. Now, some vehicles do have mod customization options, but others have zero. For example, the motorcycles, like the Gargoyle and the BF400, as well as the Trophy Truck and the Desert Raid. These four vehicles have zero customization. Yes, you can change the livery, you can have no livery or various paint jobs, but you have no exhaust options, hood options, bar options, etc. What you see is basically what you get when it comes to these four vehicles. The Gargoyle motorcycle, along with the BF400, the Trophy Truck, and yes, the Desert Raid. Now, there's also three other vehicles that were added to the game, courtesy of Grand Theft Auto 5 Story sometime back, the muscle cars, which in my case, they're free. I don't know if they're free for everybody, but they include the Burger Shot Stallion, Pisswasser Dominator, and Redwood Gauntlet. Now, I'm happy to have these cars in the game, and I'm ecstatic that they're free, but the downside of them being free is if you want to get rid of them, you can't sell them. You have to basically destroy them, and you destroy them by, putting a vehicle in their place. So if you have a full garage and you want to get rid of your Pisswasser Dominator because you don't want it anymore and you can't sell it, you have to bring in another vehicle into the garage and replace the Pisswasser Dominator with whatever car you want to replace it with, and that makes that car go away. And you get no money out of it, even if I believe you actually put some money into the modifications for engines, brakes, etc. Now, the other issue I have with these three cars is the fact that there is zero customization option for these vehicles either, and it even goes a step further. Not only can you have no mod options, you can't even change the colors of the liveries for the Burger Shot Stallion, Pisswasser Dominator, or Redwood Gauntlet. I think in story mode you actually could, but you can't in Grand Theft Auto Online for whatever rhyme or reason. And another con, no inclusion of the Sprunk Buffalo, which was another one of those vehicles that was part of the deal for last gen Grand Theft Auto gamers that made the transition to current gen. So we don't have the Sprunk Buffalo either to go along with those three other rides. The next con is limiting the menu option for stunt races. Now, what I'm talking about is that you only have specific classes per each race. You can only do a supercar for this race, or a sports car for that race, or off-road for that race. I don't like that because it takes away the replayability of these races. Most of the races allow you to pick and choose between the types of classes. You could do it with a supercar. Then you can come back later and do it with compacts, or sports cars, or sports classics, or off-roads. You can't do that so far with the Rockstar created stunt races. And hopefully that won't be the case whenever user created races start coming out in August. So that's an issue I have. Sometimes you can't change the time of day, sometimes you can. And the only real race type you have is standard. Now, I really don't have as much of a problem with this one because I think that's better than adding the GTA mode, which adds rockets and the boost. And you don't really need the boost anymore because of the fact that some of the tubes actually have, those boost options for you built onto those specific props. But at the very least, I would like them to add non-contact along with standard as race type options. The next con is something that a lot of you are not happy about. No 6 garage. Now, some of you may not think this is a big deal, but let's look at the last time Rockstar added garage space for us. It was December 2015 with the Executives and Other Criminals update, which gave us a max of 50 cars if we had 5 10-car garages. Now, we've had several updates since Executives and Other Criminals, including one a week or so later with the Festive Surprise update, which added 1 car, the Tampa, not a big deal. Then, of course, in January, 2 more cars. Then Be My Valentine technically added 2 cars as well, the Valor and the original Roosevelt, which they brought back 2 years later, so I consider it 2 cars. Then the Lowriders Custom Classics, which added a total of 7 cars. Finance and Felony, which added a total of 10 cars. And most recently, the addition of Cunning Stunts, which added, as of right now, 13 cars, with 4 more cars on the way. That's right, there are 4 more cars that are locked in the tunables that Rockstar will eventually unlock in the coming weeks, most likely. It's the same thing they did with Finance and Felony, some of the cars there, as well as the Lowriders Custom Classic. So that's to be expected now. So the grand total of all these cars, if you put them all together, is 35 cars, excluding the 4 cars that are coming in a few weeks from now. So we've had 35 cars added since the last expansion to garage properties. So I think it's beyond time and reason for Rockstar to consider adding the ability to own a 6 garage and up our capacity to 60 vehicles, especially with 35 going on 39 rides currently in Grand Theft Auto Online. Now, my last con is technically a minor one because it's not really that big of a deal because I'm a patient type of guy. I can wait a few weeks, Rockstar. I get it. Is the fact that we have yet to get the stunt creator. But the good news is it's coming in just a few weeks on August 2nd. So we'll just have to be patient and hopefully it will live up to our expectations. It will include all the props, all the abilities that we've seen so far in the 16 awesome and epic stunt races that Rockstar has made, which is part of the Cunning Stunts update. And now that you have my pros and my cons, my verdict regarding Cunning Stunts. Now, if you are a fellow racing and car enthusiast like me, Cunning Stunts is the DLC for you. Now, I realized that it had no new weapon or Pegasus vehicle with guns or missiles or rockets in it, but this is, in my opinion, another awesome game changer for Grand Theft Auto Online. It has taken racing to a whole new level in this game, and that I find extremely exciting, especially since obviously I'm into racing. Rockstar basically has shown us that they are in fact listening to the community and they have embraced the awesome races created by the white hat modders, as I like to call them, because I do see a difference between white hat modders that make awesome stuff like the modded races and the modded LTSs, as opposed to the black hat modders that like to put shit in lobbies and fuck people's day. And it comes from an old Western terminology for good guy versus bad guy. But anyways, I consider Cunning Stunts now to be in my top 5. Yes, I did do my top 5 at the end of the review for Finance and Felony a month ago. So I have to reorganize it a little bit. Okay, so here's my new top 5. Heists, Executives, Lowriders, Finance and Felony, Cunning Stunts, and I'm sorry, High Life, but you got bumped. So anyways, let me know below in the comment section, what do you think about Cunning Stunts? Do you love it? Do you hate it? Do you not care one way or the other? Has it been your favorite or least favorite update so far in 2016? Or would you consider to overall be one of the best? So let me know your pros, your cons, your top fives regarding DLCs, your verdict regarding Cunning Stunts. And just one more note I want to make before I wrap up. Here's something we got to appreciate. A year ago, the updates we got were Ill-Gotten Gains Part 1 and 2. Really didn't add much to the game except for a new radio station and a lot of new clothing and vehicles. Not necessarily the game changers that these two updates have been in 2016. Finance and Felony and Cunning Stunts. So honestly, so far, I feel like Rockstar's doing way better in 2016 than they were in 2015. And that's bearing in mind that they also came out with heists in 2015. In other words, Rockstar is keeping Grand Theft Auto Online going on 3 years in running. That's right, October marks the 3-year anniversary of Grand Theft Auto Online. And I feel like now, with these two updates back to back, game changers, Finance and Felony, Cunning Stunts, I can't wait to see what Rockstar has next for Grand Theft Auto Online.